It's been a long time, my fellow Redditors. I can vividly remember that the last time I posted here was when I shared my college experience with you all. That has been many, many years ago. Well, this experience I'm about to share is very different from the last one. It's not a jolly experience at all. It's one of lies and deceit. The last time I posted here, I told you all about a girl I met in college, right? Well, we got married a few years after college. Now she's cheating on me. I just recently found out that my wife is cheating on me. For reference sake, I'm a 30 years old man who's married to a 28 years old woman. My wife's name is Sheila and my name is Fred. So, my dear Redditors, I know you all are wondering what suddenly went wrong, lol. I wonder what happened too. We got married after college and I honestly thought I married an innocent woman. Now I found out she's cheating on me. I don't know who the guy is or how she knows him. I'm very grateful that I found out early, or else I'd have been making a fool of myself. Can you believe how ironic this situation is? To think that we're planning to go to a family event in 2 weeks, and then I find out my wife is fucking another man. This event will have both our families and extended families in attendance. It's a yearly event that we have done over the years. I was even planning to get us new outfits, so we'd attend the event like the happy couple we were. But now I guess plans have changed. If you're wondering if my wife knows, no, she doesn't. She had no idea that I caught her cheating on me. She's been acting like her normal self, and I swear that if I didn't see it with my own 2 eyes, I'd have not noticed a single change in her. Before I go on, I'd like to use this medium to acknowledge how pretentious some women can be. I don't mean any disrespect to other women, but damn. My wife has shown me that she's a green snake in the green grass, literally. Her behavior is the same, nothing has changed. She's even telling me we need to get matching outfits this year so we can show off. How pathetic. She knows this event is a big deal because a lot of people will be in attendance. It's a 3-day event and we be there for 4 days. I have something planned to show my wife that I can be pretentious too, but I need to tell you all how I caught my wife cheating first. It was a Monday morning and we were getting ready for work. I usually drop her off at work and pick her up when she's done. That day was no different. The routine was still the same. After eating breakfast, I drove her to her workplace. At first, my wife and I spent minutes in the car talking about the upcoming family trip and other random stuff. I was getting late, so I kissed her goodbye before she left the car. My dear Redditors, have any of you ever been thankful for a flat tire before? Well, I was very thankful that I had a flat tire that day because it was the flat tire that saved me from thinking I had a real marriage. After my wife got out of the car, I turned on the car and drove off. Barely 2 minutes after leaving her workplace, my car stopped on the road. I'm thankful it didn't do more than that because when I got down, I discovered that I had a flat tire. I was getting late for work and had no time to call a mechanic, so I decided to go back to my wife's workplace on foot and tell her to help me get a mechanic during her lunch break, since the car was still closer to her workplace. My dear Redditors, when I got there, I saw my wife exiting her workplace. I was surprised because I did not expect her to be outside by that time. She even nagged me in the morning that she had to get to work fast. I wanted to call out to my wife at first, but I stopped when I saw her walking towards a car. It was definitely not my car because my car was parked minutes away. You have to imagine the level of shock I felt when I saw my wife getting into an unknown car with a smile on her face. It was a tinted car, so I could not see what was going on inside. I hid behind another car and waited till she was done. At that point, I did not care about getting late for work. I just wanted to know what my wife was up to at that moment. She spent minutes in the car before she finally got out. Everything looked fine at first, but I noticed something that was very weird. My wife had red lipstick on. I know that's not a big deal on a normal day, but in that situation, it was. I vividly remembered that my wife had black lipstick on that morning. I'm so sure about this because I kissed her goodbye in the car before she left, and I saw that she had black lipstick on. I'm her husband. I can't mistake her lipstick color. I knew what I saw in the morning was different from what I saw when she left that car. I watched her rush into her office before the car drove off. To be honest, I was very surprised to see what had transpired. It made no sense. Back then, a part of me was very suspicious, but I decided not to confront her yet. I know some of you might agree that a lipstick color is not enough evidence to accuse someone of cheating. But to be honest, I became extremely suspicious. I did not even call my wife and ask her to call a mechanic for me. I took a cab to work that day. I barely got any work done because I kept thinking about the incident that transpired. I did not just brush it off and call it a coincidence. Oh no, I made sure I got to the root of the matter. I went home that day and decided to spy on my wife the next day. I dropped her off at work as usual, but that day, I waited for her to come out secretly. I waited for so long that I began to doubt if she was even going to show up at all. That's to tell you just how long I had to wait. But, my dear Redditors, my wife came out after some time. I did not see the car I saw the day before, so I thought she just came out to buy something. But after some minutes, the car drove into the garage. My wife got into the car as usual. This time she came out with no lipstick at all. I was practically frustrated with the situation because I hate being left in the dark. There was no need for me to see her naked before I knew she had to be cheating on me. My instincts told me that my suspicions were right, but I did not work on my instincts. I decided to trap my wife during the weekend and see if she would fall for it. My fellow Redditors, I did something very funny. I told Sheila that I was needed at work urgently and would not be back till it was late in the evening. Sheila believed me and walked me out of the house. Of course, I lied to her. I was not needed at work that day. I went on foot, so my car was in the house. I waited outside our gate at a hidden spot to see if Sheila would come out and go anywhere. I practically waited for 2 hours and almost gave up. But Sheila did come outside. She did not just come outside, she drove outside. My wife drove my car outside and zoomed off before I could even understand what was going on. I had to call a taxi immediately to follow her. It was almost an impossible task because she was far ahead of us. But since it's my car, I was able to tell it apart from the numerous cars on the road. Sheila drove for a very long time. I was so worried because I did not expect her to drive for almost an hour straight. Well, I already suspected that she was cheating on me, so I was mostly worried about my car. Even before Sheila stopped the car at her desired location, I knew she had to be going to her lover's place. That was the only reasonable explanation I had in my head. Well, my fellow Redditors, I was not wrong at all, because Sheila did stop in front of an estate. It looked like an estate that had different people residing in it. The taxi I was in stopped far ahead, so she would not suspect a thing. After Sheila got into the gate, I got outside of the taxi and followed her in. Luckily, I saw her getting into a room on time. I marked the room number, then waited outside for a few minutes before going to the door. I planned to knock at first, but what I saw from the window was enough to make me halt my plans. It was just a tiny opening, but I was able to see Sheila's bra on the couch. Yes, I saw my wife's bra on the couch. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. The window was open, but no one was in the living room from what I could tell. It was my wife's bra that caught my attention. It's actually funny now that I think about it. The fact that my wife had the audacity to grab my own car keys and drive my car to her lover's house so he could sleep with her is just the highest level of crazy. I'm a man. I can't tell you. I was unaffected. I was angry, but first and foremost, I was disappointed. It's not something you see every day. You don't just follow your wife to an unknown estate only to find her bra lying on the couch. One thing about me is that I do not like taking reflexive actions. I don't like jumping into things without giving them a thought first. I could have just knocked on the door and stormed into the room calling Sheila a cheat. I could have gotten into a fight with the man, then caused a scene and cussed them out. But no, I didn't. It's not because I'm weak or too kind, lol. It's far from that. I chose to be silent so I could show Sheila just how ruthless I can be. If I'd caught her, she'd just apologize and cry, and then that's it. I don't want a simple resolution of things. I want her to feel the heat. I want her to cry. The fact that she took my own car and drove to her lover's house is not just disrespectful, but disgusting. What's more disgusting is the fact that a woman I've been married to for 3 years cheated on me. I don't care to know why she did it. Before I left the estate that day, I saw the same car I saw at Sheila's workplace. There was no need for any more verification. The truth was right there before my eyes. When I got home that day, I practically promised myself to show Sheila just how ruthless I can be. I was not going to let her off the hook for any reason at all, and I need her to know that. I needed to do something that would make her regret everything she did. I could cheat back, but no, that will not hurt as much. I'm not saying I do not plan to cheat. Oh no, I'm still going to cheat on her, but that will be after the family event. The perfect revenge plan I got together is to expose Sheila in front of our families. The whole extended family from both sides will be in attendance. Even their friends will come that day. So, Reddit, that's the plan I have in place. It's a plan that I've carefully thought about since I found out Sheila was cheating on me. The fact that Sheila has been asking me about the family event and how we're going to prepare just makes me angrier every day. My initial plan was just to cheat on her and teach her a few lessons that she'll never forget, but her consistent persistence to attend this family event in a grand style just unnerves me. I decided to give her the grand entry she desired so much by embarrassing her in front of everyone. That will be the best form of revenge for me. I also have another ulterior motive behind this. I want to get her family members on my side. So this is where I need your help, Reddit. I need ideas on how to go about this. I want ideas on how I can embarrass her in front of everyone. I already know the truth, but I'll need evidence to convince everyone else. I can't just come out and accuse her of cheating. I don't even plan on doing that at all because Sheila can just end up turning it around. At this point, I don't give 2 cents about our marriage and what happens to it after the event. As far as I'm concerned, I don't even have a wife. It's so stupid that a woman who is married feels it's okay to cheat. I don't even have the time to cheat. Does she think she's some kind of hotshot supermodel or what? I've had several opportunities to cheat without her even finding out, but I've been so focused on my work that cheating had not even been a topic in my thoughts. So, of course, it's surprising that a woman who is supposed to be working and figuring out how to make her marriage better is busy cheating on her husband. I think one thing Sheila doesn't understand is that it's always easier for men to get away with cheating. It's easier for men to move on after a divorce. I don't think she even understands the gravity of what she has done. I honestly can't care less because I'm already planning to start dating immediately after the family event is over. I don't care what the outcome is. I'm not staying faithful to an unfaithful woman. There is no way that's going to happen. For the people who'll most likely come into the comments section and tell me how 2 wrongs don't make a right, please save it. I really don't care about what is right at this point. All I care about is making sure I get revenge on Sheila in such a way that she'll be left flabbergasted. I mean it, literally. The problem now is how to get the perfect evidence together. That's a big deal for me. I don't know if it'll be possible to lead Sheila's lover to the family event. I mean, seeing is believing, and it will be the perfect way to bring out the truth. But the problem is that I don't even know what the guy looks like. I have not seen him before. I only recognize his car, and that's all. There's no way that I'll see him anywhere and even know it's him. If I'd seen his back or even his hair, it would have been a great lead, but I'm literally left with nothing. I need my fellow Redditors to drop their comments and tell me what they think I should do in this situation. That will be really helpful. I need as many ideas as possible because this has to be a perfect revenge plan. I can't even believe that many years after talking about my college experience, I'm here on Reddit again talking about a cheating experience. I honestly do wish I was the one who cheated. It will be less angering to be the one who cheated on your wife, LOL. I might even ask myself why I did not think about it first. But, whatever. It is what it is. She cheated on me first, so she should get what's coming for her. The family event she's so obsessed with will shock her in such a way that will leave her speechless. I'll make sure I leave no stone unturned. In case you are wondering what I plan to do, don't worry. You'll know in the next update because I'm not even sure of how to execute my plan yet. The family event is in 2 weeks' time, so you all should help me as fast as you can. I need to have a plan in mind as soon as possible so I'll be able to execute it on time. I'll make an update to this post after the family event is over so I can tell you all what happened in the full details. I'll try to reply to as many comments as possible, but I strongly doubt I'll be able to reply to all. Stay safe and see you next time, Reddit. I'm counting on you all to help me. Revenge is not easy at all. It takes dedication. Update. Hi Redditors, how have you all been? I'm back as promised, and this time, I'm here with all the details. It's been one heck of a full month. I know I promised you all that I'd give an update as soon as possible, but it's been 1 month now. And trust me, this is my definition of as soon as possible. I've been busy for the past few weeks. It's been a lot of work and a lot of commitment to settling the scores present. So let me take you all back to where we left off. I told you guys I needed ideas on how to embarrass my wife at the family event, and you all did not leave me hanging. I got some great ideas, and I was able to put them into action. The idea that came up mostly was to follow my wife to her lover's house one more time, then get a picture of them together. Trust me, I did not want to follow this idea for many reasons. I just found it too difficult and full of bumps. I did not think I'll be able to execute it, but that was literally the only plan that was safe enough to carry out, so I went with it. I could not go by myself because that will only make the task more difficult, so I sent someone to take pictures of them. I gave the person all the information they needed so they would be able to carry out the task. The results I got at first were just pictures of them leaving her workplace together and pictures of Sheila going into his room. I didn't really get pictures of them doing anything intimate. It took another 5 days before I got a picture of them kissing in the car. The car was tinted, and it was impossible to get a shot, but the person I sent got the picture when Sheila was about to leave the car. She opened the door to leave, but then the guy pulled her in for another kiss. Thankfully, he got the picture in time. To be honest, the guy I sent was almost caught by some of Sheila's colleagues. He had to lie that he was doing research in the company and that he was their assigned photographer. That almost got him arrested, but he was lucky to have finished the job on time. I had to pay the guy twice the money because of that fucking mishap. I spent a lot of money just getting the pictures alone. Imagine paying money for someone else's mistakes. The only thing that kept me from losing my shit back then was the fact that I had a plan in motion. I just kept encouraging myself to look at the end of the tunnel. In my case, the end of the tunnel was embarrassing for my wife. I just hoped they'd be light there. So, after getting the pictures and some of the recordings I needed together, I had my plan in motion. Sheila kept telling me how she could not wait for us to go to the family event. She told me how this year's event was going to be very different because many of her family friends were going to be in attendance. Anytime she came to the bedroom and told me how excited she was, I'd just laugh and tell her I couldn't wait too. It was very satisfying to know I was one step ahead of her. It was even more satisfying to know that she was looking forward to her own destruction. I know, that was an exaggeration, but trust me, I was very excited to see how the event would turn out. That event did not excite me as much as it excited me this year. So, let's get to the real deal. A few days after the family event, my wife got us matching outfits. I did not complain, and I even thanked her for it. The preparation for the event went on as it normally did. We got the gifts we usually bought for the family members. Sheila prepared some dishes in advance so we could eat it on the road. In other words, we were practically preparing for a swell time at the event. I'll still say this just for the sake of reference. Sheila did not suddenly stop cheating on me. I mean, she continued, and I know this because I kept an eye on her till we went on that trip. She left the house whenever she thought I went out, or when I was asleep. Sometimes I could hear her running from the living room to the bathroom to take a phone call. The worst evidence I'd noticed was when I saw a soaked panty of hers in the handbag she brought from work. The next one was a male boxer. Yes, I saw all these things even before we traveled for the event. With the way Sheila pretended like everything was fine, I'm very certain that she had no idea that I was aware of her cheating escapades. I did not also try to let her know that I knew anything about it. I continued acting like I was a fool. There was no need to let the cat out of the bag and raise the alarm unnecessarily. I knew that I had to be patient so I could give her a taste of her own medicine. It was not easy because sometimes I wanted to laugh in her face and tell her to stop hiding her phone under the sheets before she replied to text messages, because I already knew she was chatting with her lover. But I had to control myself. To be honest, I think my patience actually paid off at the end of the day because I was able to achieve the desired results I had in mind. So guys, let me cut the long story short and get to how I exposed my wife at our family event. The first day at the event was just normal. There was nothing out of the ordinary because I wanted the first day to be as normal as possible. Sheila and I settled into our hotel room and had a good night's sleep. The next day at the hotel was when I decided to put my plans in motion. Our family members were all present for the official first day of the get-together. Even our friends and some family friends were present. It was nice to see everyone together again after 1 year. I was mostly interested in seeing Sheila's parents because I knew just how traditional they are. They like to brag about their well-cultured and well-mannered daughter. I could not wait to show them just how mannerless their daughter was. The first part of the event was watching a movie together in one big hall. It's something that we have done for many years before. That would have been the perfect opportunity to expose Sheila, but I did not go with that idea. I did not want to ruin the family event on the very first day we started the event. My plan initially was to link the photos to the projector and have it shown to everyone present, but I decided to wait. The real drama could come later, so I decided to create a mini-drama. My dear Redditors, you all needed to see how pretentious Sheila had been with our family members. This woman acted like she was not the same person that was cheating on me. She joined other relatives to chat about marriage and relationships. The fakery was just too much for me, and there were many moments that I just wanted to expose her, right there and then. There were even instances where she would kiss me in front of her parents and hold hands with me. At first, I did not want to react, but as time went on, I would detach myself from her, snap at her in public, and even wipe her kisses away. I did it in such a way that even her own parents noticed. My parents called me aside to ask me if everything was fine, and I told them there was nothing wrong. I did not want to spoil the big surprise by making myself say things that will reveal the truth. But despite my efforts to make sure I don't reveal the truth before it's time, Sheila decided to mess with me. She had the audacity to FaceTime her lover while we were in our bedroom. That night, I pretended to be asleep while I heard Sheila's muffled voice under the bedsheet. I did not need any confirmation to know what had been going on. She was talking to her lover, and that was a fact I later discovered was true. I was so angry that I got up and grabbed her phone from her hands. That was when I saw him, the guy she was sleeping with. I did not recognize him as someone I knew, but he looked familiar. I knew that was a sign that she had been sleeping with him for a very long time. He ended the call immediately, but I did not let that stop me from doing what I had in mind. I grabbed Sheila's hands and dragged her out of the room. She kept wailing and pleading with me to listen to her, but I did not budge. I dragged her till we were in front of her parents' room, and then I pushed her till she was laying face down on the ground. I could not contain my anger, and I banged it on her parents' door. Yes, my dear Redditors, I made sure they knew something was going on outside. It did not take time before they came out of the room and demanded what was happening. They were even upset to see their daughter on the floor crying. My parents heard the noise too and left their rooms. We created such a scene that almost all the family members came out of their designated rooms to see what was going on. We were lucky to have booked our rooms at the other side of the hotel. Most people thought I'd laid my hands on her since they saw her crying, but I had to correct that narrative immediately. I told them how I caught Sheila FaceTiming her lover while I was in the room. I explained everything from beginning to the end, and I even went as far as showing them the pictures I had saved on my phone. That was not how I planned to reveal the truth, but I did not have the patience to wait till the next day anymore. I showed her parents and my parents first before the phone was passed around for anyone that cared to see what was going on. When I told you guys that we caused a scene, I meant it. We had pulled a crowd, but the only difference was that the people present were our own relatives. Her parents were practically speechless, and they could not say anything to defend their daughter. I thought they'd preach about how well-mannered she is, just like they usually did, but I guess there was enough evidence on ground to show that their daughter was nothing close to being well-mannered. My parents and relatives were disappointed after seeing the pictures, and some people even walked out. I was so angry that I recounted everything that had been going on for the past 2 weeks. I told them how Sheila had been sneaking out with my car. I know some of you might say you don't really like the way I went about it and how I exposed her publicly, but I do not care. Public humiliation was the perfect punishment for a woman that has no boundaries and self-respect. I did not humiliate her publicly because I needed support or validation. I did it because I knew that was the only way to truly get on her nerves and do something that she'd remember for a very long time. Sheila and her family have always been dedicated to their reputation and how people perceive them. I know this because her parents like to brag about every little thing. They claim to have perfect children with the best manners. I will not lie, that's one of the things that drew me to Sheila. I thought she was well-mannered and innocent. I know that's a wrong reason to look for a partner, but that was my reason. I just did not expect her to be the exact opposite of what I'd imagined. Well, I guess that was a medium for me to learn my lesson and not make the same mistakes twice. Sheila's parents were very disappointed, and they literally walked out on us after screaming on top of their lungs. My parents told everyone to go back to bed and that we'd settle everything the next day. When my parents said settle, they meant ties were going to be broken. Literally. But at the end of the day, it was still my choice if I wanted to stay with Sheila and work on our marriage. My dear Redditors, what do you think my choice was? That same night, after everyone went back to their rooms, Sheila grabbed me by the collar and cussed me out. She screamed on top of her lungs and accused me of ruining her life for something so trivial. Yes, Reddit, my wife told me that all she did was cheated and that she did not deserve the kind of punishment that I gave to her. I thought she was joking at first. Yes, trust me, I thought it was a joke. But it wasn't. The stupid woman really stood in front of me and accused me of tarnishing her family's reputation. I don't understand how a woman who cheated and made the decisions by herself will accuse me of tarnishing her image. Lol, am I the one who cheated? I can still remember how I grabbed her shoulders in a very tight grip and tossed her to the nearby wall. You must be fucking mad. Are you so dumb that you think I'll fall for your stupid stunts? You think I regret embarrassing you just now? Those were the words I said to her. Sheila looked like she could kill me at that moment. I could see the anger in her eyes, but what made me really happy was the fact that she looked surprised. She did not expect me to have caught her cheating and even bring the evidence to her family. She asked me how I got the pictures and where I got them from, but I did not give her a reply. I tried walking away, but she grabbed a nearby vase and tried to throw it at me. If I did not look back in time, she would have trashed the vase on my back. I am not proud of it, and I have never been raised to hit a woman, but I slapped her that night. I do not support domestic violence, and I still regret slapping her till this day, but I could not stomach the fact that she tried to throw a vase at me. That case could have killed me right there and then. After slapping her, I warned her to stay away from me and told her that our marriage was over. That night, I locked her out of the room and slept off. I don't care how she slept that night or where she spent the night. I was so angry because I knew I could have gotten to the point of doing something I regretted. I got what I wanted by exposing her and tarnishing her image, and that's the most satisfying revenge ever. The next day, Sheila decided to cause another scene. She tried to jump on me when I went to use the restroom. She accused me of ruining her family once again. She said her parents and relatives were no longer speaking to her and that it was all my fault. My dear Redditors, you all needed to see how she whined and cried like a baby. To be sincere, I couldn't care less about her cheating anymore. What gave me more satisfaction was the fact that she was being isolated by her loved ones. I loved every bit of it. I did not bother myself with trying to fight her back because I knew what her game plan was. She wanted me to raise my hand and hit her again, but I did not fall for it. That very day, I left the family event and went back to my house. I packed her things and sent them back to her parents' house. They were not back home then, but I left it with their caretaker. I knew Sheila was not dumb enough to come back to the house for anything, and that was a bonus for me. I wanted to divorce her instantly, but I refused to do it immediately. I needed to cheat on her first, and so I did. I cheated on her days later and made sure she found out about it. I got many threatening messages from her and her new lover, but I blocked their numbers and moved on with my life. I don't plan on filing for a divorce yet because I'm not ready for the tedious paperwork. It's been barely 2 weeks since the incident, and I'm just living my life. Whenever I'm ready for the tedious paperwork, I'll send her the papers. My dear Redditors, I can't even believe that my wife had the audacity to accuse me of ruining her reputation after she cheated on me. It's disgusting and extremely narcissist. But guess what? I do not care. I got my revenge and I don't care what she thinks about it. Thank you to all the Redditors that have taken their time to engage with this post. It's been an amazing ride. I hope my next life experience will be better than this. LOL. See you all in the next post, whenever that may be.